Hello and welcome to Burning Questions. I'm back in town. J-Bon, ready to roll. I've even crossed the legs a little bit there in a masculine fashion. Not that there's anything wrong. If you want to do the cross, you can do any cross legs you want. We're here for hip pocket workwear and safety. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables. Got Jack Law here. I'll find out if he shovels in the stables. I think he's a shoveler. He's got a lot of shoveler about him. You want your staff to look their very best, and you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They've got you covered and everybody else for clothing, protective equipment like glasses, hats, that kind of thing, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. We welcome in our special guest, Nikkita. She's leaving us. It's caused a lot of pain and consternation. I keep running into people on the street saying, is she really going, Nikkita? But you're still here with us for the time being. The sun's in your eyes, but you're looking resplendent. How are you?
Very good, thanks, Bon. A couple of weeks to go. So as I said last week, Burning Questions is probably going to be one of the things I'll miss the most. So looking forward to a couple of big episodes before I head off.
Just sign a little contract and get back on Burning Questions wherever you go. That's fine. Andy, Gath, you look a lot healthier than last time I saw you. There's colour back in your face. Your eyes are sparkling. You look wonderful. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. I'm back feeling my age again.
61. And Jack Law, who's got one of the biggest smiles. We can't see his teeth at the moment, but he's got lots of teeth. He's got probably, I don't know how many the normal human person has, but Jack's got an extra 9 for some reason, and they're all at the front. I don't know genetically what's happened there with the X and Y chromosomes. How are you, Jackie boy?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. We've already talked tactics for the first race. We'll get back to that later with Arden Roanoke. We'll see what you're going to do there. Andy might have missed out on that one. He just sort of exited stage left off Broadway for a moment. Right, first question of Burning Questions. Will Crimes Queensland form hold true back here in Vic? And is he just too fast here? Should that be the case? Andy, we might start with you. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, his last 2 wins in Queensland were really good. Obviously, he's had the trip up there and the trip back. The fact that they've got him in, he's obviously travelled down, really good and quite happy with him. It's still a tricky race. He's drawn the back row, obviously, and the only back row runner. I think he's the one to beat, but I wouldn't be taking short odds. I think there's some horses in this field are going quite good. So, he can win, but just a little bit of question mark with that trip back from Queensland to sort of see where he's at.
How do you even assess, it feels like in Australia, the different states are different. It's Neptune and there's Pluto over here. It's back in, by the way. It was a dwarf planet for a while, but it's back in the mix now. You can go to Menangle and do something and come back. They are very different places, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's very hard to line up the form and everything, but winning form's always good form. You look at his times, these times are off the clock, but Albion Park seems to take a second off their clock every season. So, he's a quality horse. His record at Melton's not too great, but I think, his horse taking a little bit of time to find his best form. And, it's quite an even race, and he's going to be one of the winning hopes.
Now, the other question for this race is whether, if Desi G can get across, whether she, because my partner is Desi G and is a woman and this is a boy, it's confusing, whether he would hold the front or hand up to something better. So I'll get back to Andy with that one in just a moment. But Jack Law, you look like you're in the Leaning Tower of Pisa at the moment. There's a mirror or something behind you and it looks like it's on the wrong angle, but I'm going to try and put that to one side. Crime Rider, Queensland form, will it hold up?
Yeah, as Andy said, it's always sort of a little bit tough to line up when they go interstate. But if you have a look at the horses that he was beating up there, any of those in this race, I think would go around short price. And if he's travelled back down well, he'll probably be too good for him, I think, personally. That's probably his only concern is just the travel back down. But if Matty Craven's happy with him and he's got him spot on, I reckon he'll just spank him.
And Spanker might be coming here for the interview. Right. So, and if Desi G leads, would it hold the front or hand up to something better?
Well, I don't know if it would hand up. I think, it won last week comfortably in front, and there's probably not really that much else off the front line that you'd be that interesting on sitting on. So I think if Desi G leads, it'll be happy to hold it, but I think Crime Rider is just his sectionals up in Queensland and the horses that he was beating up there, he should be too good.
I'm going to you before Andy next time because every time you're going to say, as Andy said, if I let him go first, you're just going to Nikkita.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't even got Crime Rider on top, to be honest. I've got something better on top. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with both Jack and Andy. I think Desi G probably finds the top and is going to hold it, and then from there, Crime Rider can absolutely win, and I do have him on top. That was my slight question mark, how he has travelled back, but how he did it, the way he did it, his past 2 wins up in Queensland, and also especially on Blake's Fat Ignite, the field that he beat were some quality horses there. So all going well. I think he's if he can hold that form, he's going to be the one to beat. But in saying that, if Desi G can find the top and get an easy split, we know how hard it is to come from the back. So he is on top, but yeah, wouldn't be diving into any short odds.
And Andy, I'll go back to you with that previous question. And Andy loves his stats. I'll give you one. Desi G has had 10 runs over the short for 6 wins, 4 wins from 24 over the middle trip. I think he's handing up to something better, and that's why I've tipped him. What are your thoughts on the tactics of that third event, Andrew?
Yeah, obviously, Desi G's last 2 wins were over the short, and when it let Kilmore was a little bit plain when it got beat by Carload. So I'm guessing it probably would hand up. Yeah, Sanday can run the gate at times, but Desi G's sort of got like coupling type gate speed, so you think it would find the top. Yeah, no, I think Desi G will be the first leader. And if it got pressure from something better, I reckon it might hand up.
All right, Jack, you got to go first this time. I told you that before. Right. Alabar Vicbred Platinum Mare Sprint Championship Final. You are driving, pray tell. Do we trust Celebrity to run away with class, or does her recent trial make her one we'd like to pass? I don't even know if you've gone back and watched Runaway Celebrity's trial, but it was pretty plain. I was looking at the race before looking at the trial and thinking she's just over the line, but you might be in with a chance here, Jackie boy.
Yeah, it's possible. The times weren't great that day at the trials. Even those fast class mares that went around and didn't break the clock. So it's a little bit hard to line up when she's sort of first up for a while and you've only got that trial to go off. So if it brought the same performance from the trials to Saturday night, there's definitely something's going to beat it. But obviously from that camp they wouldn't be taking it if it wasn't going to be ready. So I gather it'll be improving on Saturday night as well. But there's definitely a couple other mares in there that are going to have a chance. They're all got nice form, and a few horses, even like My Superannuation, has improved dramatically. So since joining Tyndale's, so it's got a bit of gate speed. It wouldn't surprise me if Runaway Celebrity got beat. But yeah, you're going off that one trial, and it could improve enormously off that.
I asked him whether he'd watched the trial, and the next minute he's telling me about the generic times. Like he's got standard times. He's got a concatenated spreadsheet of. Do you watch all the trial? Like when they come out, do you watch all the trials, Jackie?
No. I only had a quick look at them, and not a lot of fast horses went around at the trials that day, but also the times were very slow. So I wouldn't be taking too much out of the trial form.
I appreciate your honesty saying you don't watch all the trials. I only watch them when I have to do form. Right. Andy, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything Jack said.
As Jack said.
No, again, if it didn't trial, you'd say it's an absolute moral. The fact it didn't trial so bad puts a question mark over it. It's clearly the best mare in the race. Barrier draws against it, but again, it's in a great camp. We know that 50% of the time their horses are winning, so it's definitely the one to beat. But it's probably a race you probably just have to watch the market moves, and if it's drifting, you might have to back something else. You
believe in trials, don't you? Because when one of yours doesn't trial well, quite often they're nominated, and then it really gets me angry because you scratch them like with about 8 hours to go before the race, and then I've done all the form and done the speed maps. But you believe, if that was your horse, you'd be worried, wouldn't you?
I would always concern their first trial or first race start back. If they don't go well, it's a concern for their preparation going forward. But this race might have stuck up on them a little bit. $40,000 race and qualified a long time ago. So might have sort of been a rush campaign just to give it a trial and got a little bit more work into it. So if anyone can turn it around in a short space of time, it's that stable.
Skeeter, one thing I reckon will happen here is they will run time because all the classes off the second row, the way these races go, there's pressure off the front row. If she's anywhere near her best, I've been the cow and Lily Livet, yellow Bond. I've tipped her on top, but I've got my concerns as well.
Yeah, so do I. I'm not going to add much more here, Bon, but she's clearly the class runner, and that wasn't the trial that you want to see especially when she's drawn wide on the back row over the 17-20. So the Emma Stewart factor, though, it's got to play a massive part. They've obviously lined her up here, and yeah, I'm willing to just put a line through that trial. We don't know if there were different reasons. I think just looking at it, looks like a really windy day. As Jack said, they weren't running time. So it may have just been something where she wasn't on her game, but yeah, she's at her best or anywhere close to it. You still think she's got the class and she'll be hard to beat. So I've gone with her on top, but, you know, market I think is going to be key here.
I'm looking forward to that in the stewards report. Beaufort scale, cyclonic, didn't handle conditions, hates wind. Don't mind that. I like that. That's not too bad. Skeeter, I left you with nothing last time, so I'll give you a first crack this time. Will Supreme be dominant by charging off the gate, or is this lineup's chance to show the stuff of which he's made? It's a weird old free-for-all race in as much as neither lineup nor... I mean, we're not talking about Lenny the Shark and Smoking Up here. I think there's other winning chances. I'll get to Jack in a moment with Torrid Saint, but your thoughts on the our Maestro free-for-all?
Yeah, with lineup, I thought he was really good when first up, and he was forced to lead up the 1-1 line at Bendigo last week. And we know he's a very quick horse, drawn 2. So I think he's got some options. I think probably Aussie Battler gets across, and then from there you've got Nathan, who you know is going to make the right decision. So I think Herb will press forward with Supreme Dominator, but slight concern what he has to do to get there, or if he's left parked. So yeah, like I said, I just think Nathan's got options with lineup, and for that reason, I've got him on top.
I think both of these gentlemen have got a winning chance. I've made Tango Tara 4th and Torrid Saint 3rd. So we'll go in order of where I've put them, because that's the most important thing. Jack, Torrid Saint seems to have come back well, 3rd up from a break. Ready to roll?
Just about. Yeah, I think so. He had a couple of trials before he raced at Kilmore, and he was actually really ordinary at the trials, and then he went better at Kilmore, and then last week I thought he was better again. So he's probably working into a bit of form, and he seems to have returned okay. He just went off the ball a little bit last prep, but he feels good at the moment, so he probably won't be far away again. I don't know. I don't think lineup's actually that fast out the gate, is it? I know it led and won the Derby, but it sort of worked forward. Supreme Dominator maybe likewise, but Aussie Battler probably could cross those 2 inside of it. Reactor Now is actually the first time it's had a draw for a while, and we know how good he is in front, so it might be another one that maybe throws a spanner in the works. But I think it's a very even free-for-all, actually, and if lineup doesn't find the front, it's probably anyone's race. But if Nathan can work to the front, it's probably going to be hard to beat.
I just want to... What an outstanding summation from Jack Law just quietly. He said... I haven't even got my form comment out. Like, that is Reactor Now, I think, in front. I think he might be able to find the front. Lineup isn't that quick out. That's... Andy, can you top that? I want to get back to the facial hair on Jack in a moment, but can you top that summation or what?
I can't add anything. I actually thought Reactor Now would be pretty keen to try and lead and hold the lead. And like most Auckland reactors, they win most of the races in front and go a lot better on the fence. So, yeah, he's been tracking okay, Reactor Now. And I probably think there's an opportunity to get another win on the board, and that's by holding the front. I know Aussie Battler can sort of burn the gate pretty quick, but when he's sort of out of his depth a little bit, they don't try for too hard to get the lead. And thanks last week too, Jack, for Aussie Battler, found him. So yeah, no,
everyone found him. I'm glad I wasn't on. I'm glad I wasn't on Bernie. I backed him at Mildura the previous start. I wouldn't back him at Melton with somebody else's money. But well done to everyone. Well done to you, Andy.
That was good. Well, all the leaders kept winning, so I thought it was quite obvious to have a bet. So yeah, no, it's a tricky little race. Again, it's all going to be sort of what happens early. Obviously, lineup was pretty good first up. Supreme Dominator's going really good, and Torrid Saint and Tango Tara, they're both probably similar type horses. They can sort of always, thereabouts, never far away, but they just need a little bit of luck on their side. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens early, but I reckon Reactor Now, if it can lead, will hold the lead.
I reckon even if Aussie Battler gets across, Reactor Now might be first on the scene. Yes or no? Now, when I ask this often, I get 20 words. This is yes or no. Skeeter, does Supreme Dominator run the gate in an attempt to find the front?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Jack?
Yeah.
I reckon Jack thought no, but then he thought I'm not going against the other two. That's my read on it. I'll be honest with you. Question 4, burning questions. We're here for hip pocket work. We're in safety. Final question of the burning questions. On my return, does Zeus end the fast class trot with early hectic pace, or can his older rivals let him know he's in a race? Jack, as you just sip away at a little bit of what is that? Is that a strong skinny latte? What do you got there, brother?
It's actually a cup of soup.
A minestrone. What have you got there?
Pumpkin with croutons.
With croutons. Oh, could this be any better? I don't even know the question. Elderbear Zeus, will he just be winning that race, Jack, or what?
His 2 trials back have been pretty good. He beat the paces at Kilmore his last trial. They only went 2-4, so he's going to have to go maybe a little bit quicker to beat these ones. But he's probably nearly the class runner in the race, really. Sundom's Courage obviously hasn't been doing a lot of things right lately, but I think if Baron Zeus finds the front, he'll probably win. Also, Puppet, he might not want to be too harsh on him first up, and obviously there's bigger fish to fry for him, in the future, so they won't want to butcher him first up, but he's probably the one to beat.
Right, and just quickly on the facial hair, it always seems to be about the same level. Do you just clip it with scissors, or can you not grow anymore? Is this a rating 120 beard for you? Because it seems to be exactly the same all the time.
It just doesn't get any longer, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably a 98 rating.
This is as good as it gets.
Yeah. All right, Jack Nicholson, calm down. Right, Andy, your thoughts on the race?
Yeah, obviously it's the class horse out of Baron Zeus, and we all know, the 4-year-olds are all up and coming. Olivici, Cruising Artis, Fuso March, Metro, I'll get it right. So again, even this race, there's 4-year-olds in it, but again, there's a lot of seasoned horses in it, Sundine's Courage and a few other horses. A bit of a tricky draw, though. They've got to burn out pretty hard early or sort of go back and just sort of use his speed towards the end. But, he's a horse that you expect's going to have a pretty good career and going to be up there with the top trotters going forward. So, I'm willing to risk him a little bit first up. I know he's had a couple of trials, but not 100% sure whether he can find the top. And if he doesn't, he'll probably be a little bit vulnerable, in my opinion.
Already be in front after about 70 metres and he'll just brain him. He beat the paces at the trials recently. I've never really recognised him. He's a bit like Queen of Lighter. I've taken some time, but I think he'll be winning, Sketty. Your thoughts?
I think so. I've very narrowly got him on top in this. I think they will go forward at the start. I think that's his best chance. I think if he goes back, he can't win from there more than likely with so many class horses in the race. But I think he does have the gate speed if asked, so can probably press forward and find the top. If he does, he's the one to beat. But massive respect for a couple of the horses off the back row, like Sundine's Courage. Even though he's broken his past 2, which is not what you really want to see, I think he's going much better than his figure form suggests. So if they do happen to put him up at a decent price, I think he can absolutely win. Kai Valley Chief, again, probably to a lesser extent, but going a bit better than his figure form suggests, and he's race fit. So, if they put Zeus up something silly, I'm probably willing to risk him a little, but if he finds the top, he's going to take some catching.
Couple for the boys before we get into best bets. Valley Star, what are you expecting, Andrew?
Yeah, he's been working quite good. He's had a few little issues since we had him, and he's racing out of his class a little bit, but we're happy with his trial on Monday, and I think from the draw, he can definitely run a place.
Can Tango Tara win the free-for-all?
He needs things to go his way, obviously, but he's going well enough to win.
He's my best roughie. $14 is overs, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And there was one more. I thought Vacation Hill should be favourite over Adele and the Lightfoot Laurels.
Yeah, Adele's a big risk of not going away. She's a little bit tricky even from the mobile, but her staying start record's not that great. She's RODS for a reason. So, pretty happy with where Vacation Hill's at.
Rods. They just call it unruly in New Zealand. So much easier. Johnny Turner would have told you that while he's been visiting. Jack, have we decided we are going forward with Arden Roanoke in the first or not?
I'll just probably do what I'm told when I rock up at the races, but we might have to slide forward after your comments, pre-recording. But we don't want to be doing too much work, I don't think.
I'll tell you what, it'll be leading if you want to lead. And Bet on the Tiger will be leading, but can it win?
I actually really like him. He's going to be an all right 4-year-old though. I think he's probably not all there yet. But I think he might get to Metro class horse later on in life. He's probably just not ready.
You're doing burning questions for 12 months down the track.
If you want to have me on in 12 months, we'll see where he's at.
Exactly this date in 12 months, we'll have you back on. What's your best bet, Jackie boy?
I don't really know. Probably.
I haven't seen that. I don't really know. Is that in the? No. What's your best bet?
Andy's horse.
He's got a few in. Which one?
8 of them.
The one in race 2.
Yambukian.
That's it.
Skeeter.
Race 4, I'm going with Elegant. I just think he's probably the best horse in the race. 3 starts ago was second to Catch a Wave, so that looks a pretty good form line, and willing to put a line through last start when beaten as the short price favourite against older opposition. So haven't seen it for a little while, but I think we'll take some beating.
I tossed up between, I got the salad out, and the Greek one with a bit of feta in there, and I was between Yambukian and Aldebaran Zeus, and I'm going with Aldebaran Zeus, so Yambukian is a moral, Aldebaran Zeus will get beaten. Andy Gath, I'm back now, you don't get a best, a value, a roughie, a mid-roughie, a long shot. One best bet, what is it?
Well, I was going to go Yambukian. Justice didn't serve him too well last start, so hopefully he tables. But the fact that Jack's tipped him, I'll flip and I'll go with Vacation Hill.
Oh, God bless you all. Isn't that beautiful to watch you boys work together? I just feel the love, and that's why I'm happy to be back. Well done, everyone. Well done to you, Skeeter, Andy Gath, and Jack Law, a very difficult man to get in media. He's had to go to some sort of, is it a mirror behind you, or is it, what is it? Is it just a hole in the wall?
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall to the lounge room.
The fan in there. Well done to you all, and well done to me. Great to be back on Burning Questions. Hopefully we found you some winners and unraveled some of the mysteries for Saturday night back at Tabcorp Park, Melton, Metropolitan level for the first time in 7 weeks. God bless.